You know, I support this bill. It's not perfect, John, but it definitely does several things that is a step in the right direction. The administration was asking for a blank check debt limit increase. And if you look, even when the Republicans controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate, we didn't get any kind of progress like this.
All right, good for Jason Smith. Joining me, Jason Smith, by the way, is chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Let's not forget that. Now, joining us is the great Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor, author of the new book, March to the Majority, The Real Story of the Republican Revolution. It's available for pre-order now. Terrific stuff. Newt, thank you for joining us. You know, Newt, I keep saying Rome wasn't built in a day. Brick by brick, day by day, piece by piece. That's what you and I talked about on the radio. That's what you wrote in your column. You're not going to get everything in one fell swoop. What do you think?
Well, look, I think the guys who are thinking about voting no have no sense of the context of how you get these things done. Part of the reason I wrote March to the Majority is, you know, it took us 4 years to take over, begin to shape things, and finally get to the only 4 consecutive balanced budgets in your lifetime. By the way, with the largest capital gains tax cut in history and real deregulation and a resultant economic boom, creating jobs and increasing tax revenue by having more people be at work with higher incomes. So, you know, we didn't do that in one jump. You do one step and then one step and then one step. And the question for every House Republican and Senate Republican is real simple. When this is over, do you want to have taken the first step, begun to move us towards a balanced budget? I think the Budget Committee is going to produce a budget that will be in balance over time. Do you want to produce the appropriations fights this fall? Remember, what Kevin McCarthy, Speaker McCarthy, has done is not establish a basement, it's established a ceiling. So you can't go above 1%, but if you can win the appropriations fights, you can go well below 1% in terms of growth. And I think the conservatives have to recognize a yes vote here moves the game one step down. A no vote here cripples the Republicans, returns power to the White House, and allows the national media to say Republicans are incapable of governing. And I think that this is a very important moment in the future of how this country is going to evolve in the next few years.
You know, Newt, that political point is so important to me because, after all, Kevin McCarthy turns Biden around. Biden, for 3-4 months, almost 100 days, kept talking about a clean debt bill, no spending cuts, no budget reforms, no nothing. Now, all of a sudden, last weekend, so they come in and they finally make a deal. This is a complete change in Biden. And it could mean, as you suggest, a change in the political center of gravity in Washington. Finally, they have to, people, media, White House, Democrats have to take the Republican House majority seriously as a new force in Washington policymaking. That is, provided this debt deal passes.
Right, and you have to give the Senate Republicans some real credit. For the first time I can remember, you know, Senator McConnell, the leader, who had done many of these deals himself, he and virtually every Senate Republican came out and said, McCarthy's in the lead. Biden has to negotiate with McCarthy. We're going to support the House Republicans. Now, that can be rewarded with victory, and victory gets people excited, and now you start thinking about the next fight. Or it can be ruined by defeat. Defeat takes away energy and weakens us for the next fight. That's why I think people have to make these kind of decisions in a historic context, not just by looking at a sheet of paper. Yeah. Is this sheet of paper perfect? No. Are there lots of questions? Yes. But by the way, the bill itself has been online since Sunday evening at the exact language. Everybody who wants to can read the bill. It's not hidden. It's not secret. This is the opposite of Nancy Pelosi saying you have to vote for it to find out what's in it. Kevin McCarthy kept his word 72 hours before it'll finally be voted on. They're right now negotiating in the Rules Committee to bring it to the floor. And I think it's historically vital that this move forward.
By the way, they're going to get another bite out of the budget apple because the House has to put up a budget resolution, you know, which may or may not go into reconciliation. But, you know, the work can continue. and the work can continue next year. I mean, we're looking at the presidential race, but the reality is the Congress will meet next year, and they're going to have a budget resolution to deal with. So the work can go, again, day by day, step by step, brick by brick.
And one of the interesting innovations, which I think Congressman Massey produced, was that this bill provides that if all the appropriations bills have not been passed,
Right.
that they go to a continuing resolution which cuts spending. So there's pressure on the Congress to actually do its job, and the Republicans then have an opportunity to produce appropriations bills that are even lower in spending than this agreement. So you have to see it as part of a process. It's like watching a movie, not a still picture.
Yeah, it's terrific stuff. It's important to draw on your experience with the contract with America some 25 years ago. Anyway, folks, Newt's book, you can pre-order the book. It's called March to the Majority. Now, it's going to be on the shelves June 6th. You can pre-order it. A lot of wisdom there, Newt Gingrich. Thank you ever so much.